Hey folks, this is Paul with Live for Moto, and I want to talk to you real quick about the Sena comms unit on the E1 Schuberth helmet. I've had a couple of questions about this, so let's talk about it. Stay tuned.
It's always a good time. It's always a good time.
Well folks, I recently had a viewer watch one of my videos, and I believe it was the E1 helmet review that I did with a helmet that was a friend of mine's. It was the same helmet, just different color. This is my helmet, which I have up here now, and I run both a 20K the 20S and the 30K comms units for my helmets, and they've got the speakers that are up inside. But a question that I've been asked a couple of times, even just at a gas station one time, was how did you mount that on a Schuberth? And people ask that because there's a pretty solid sound skirt that goes around the bottom of this thing, and man, it works really good for keeping the sound out. It's by far the most quiet helmet I've ever had, but it does pose a problem when you're trying to mount comms unit, especially if it's the kind that clips to the shell of the helmet. So I did not use that here. Let me pull this thing apart real quick and I will give you a closer look at what I did to make this work. Okay, now that you've seen this thing kind of come apart, let me just show you close up what I did here. With your Sena comms unit, you got an adhesive mount, okay? If you didn't, then you need to talk to somebody. What you're looking at here, that's the adhesive adhesive mount, and it sticks to the helmet right here. That's the adhesive pad. It's a really strong pad. It works really well, but there is no clip that is going internally to the shell of this helmet. Then you can see my wires here, and I've got those run just like you would. And I'm not going to explain all that to you. There's tons of installation videos for Sena comms units out there. But if you don't choose to use the 10U, which I didn't, I wanted to have the availability because I can use my 30K and my 20S off of that same mount. Still works with all the same speakers and everything. I just want to be able to put either or on there. This will work, and I've not had any issue. I mean, it's on there solid. Now, something else that you'll want to keep in mind when you're putting this adhesive mount on there, with the Schuberth helmets, they have this switch here for the sunglasses in them. And so what I found immediately was that obviously you need to get that back behind that slide or you lose the use of it. So when I pull this thing off, you'll see that I butted up the adhesive right to the back of that thing. And it doesn't get in the way. I have full use of that function, and it just puts the mount a little further around the back of your head. So you got to reach back a little further, but it's really not that bad. I also use the Sena action camera, and it mounts over on this side, also an adhesive pad. That I've had some issues with, so if you're using the, I can't remember the name of that camera now, the Prism. If you're using the Prism, make sure you get a good tape on there. But the one that they send for the comms unit works really well. So to sum it up, don't use the clamp. If you do, then the sound buffering will be impeded, much more so than just what the wires do. You see the wires impede that somewhat too. I'll put this back in and give you a final shot of it, but it's very minimal. If you use the clamp style, you almost can't get this thing back on. I know because I tried it. So I use the adhesive. And I'll show you real quick what it looks like with it back in. Okay, I've got that neck wrap or that shield put back in there. Let me show you right here, nice and close. It almost doesn't impede at all with the wires. The wires are pretty small. So I don't lose any of the sound canceling qualities of this ring. by having those wires go through there. But you almost can't put that ring back in if you're using the clamp style, and if you can, then you definitely have some added noise because of it. Folks, as always, thanks for watching. I hope this helped somebody out there. If you're fighting with a, what is it, the C4 I think is also the same helmet, but this one has the peak, so this is the E1. If you've got that same helmet and you're trying to put comms on it, I can only speak for what I've used as far as the Schuberth is concerned. The 20s and the 30s use the same mount, and you can use the adhesive mount to make that work on your helmet. So I hope that helps somebody. Thanks for watching, and remember folks, as always, ride with a smile.